And we have I need a beer. Well, that's pretty neat. So one thing to note that in the previous video we discussed bold, the italics. What I want to say there is that that's more of a way to the style. Yeah, you're conveying meaning to the user, but it's more of a thought of as like a style for the text. Now, if you want to convey more specific meaning, not just to the user, but towards the browser, and just have a bit more of a larger message, we could use things called semantic markup, which is a fancy word for just saying bold and italicized things, but it adds a little bit more meaning behind the scenes. So let's go ahead and let's do an H4. I don't make enough of those. This is only for those 18 and up. So let's say that we wanted to, maybe we have a bar or a movie, or actually it'd be 21 and up here, but say we wanted to get an extra emphasis on the age 18 and up. We could do that many ways, but let's do it using the strong tag here. I'm going to take this out right here, and we're going to slap that on in. And so we see this is only for those 18 and up. But let me actually change this to a paragraph tag and save and restart, because I think this will give better insight. And we see that this is only for those 18 and up. Inside of the strong tags here, which are children of the paragraph tag, it's taking the 18 and up and it's bolding it. So when the user looks, they could see, oh yeah, whatever, but 18 and up, okay, maybe this is for me, maybe this isn't for me. Now, if we wanted to do something else where we wanted to do the italics but give it a bit more meaning, we could do something like this. We come in here and this is only for those 18 and up. Now, I don't think it looks as good as strong does, but this is another way to add more semantic meaning and value to your text, to your page, users, browser, all that other good stuff there. So the next thing we're going to look at is quotations. So let me make sure I have everything deleted right here. This is a quote from Homer Simpson. I actually haven't watched The Simpsons in a very long time, even though I do love the show. So we're going to come in here and let's do something like, well, we'll just format it like this. We'll come in here and we'll do block quote. And we have this quote. This is a quote from Homer Simpson. $5, get out of here. Now, if you could find the episode that's from and what it's talking about, feel free to comment below. It's one of my favorite lines ever from any TV show. But yeah, so that's how you do some quotes right there. Now, another way you could do this is you could come in here and you could just simply drop a Q in here. Now we can see that it gives you the quotes, it gives you kind of, I don't want to say the italic style, but it gives you a little bit more flair here. But you notice that the difference is that it doesn't move it over. Let me save this and do this. It doesn't move it over quite like the block quotes does, which is okay. It's just one of the many tools that we have to quote, create block quotes, to format our text so the user could more easily read what's going on. One thing that we want to do sometimes is abbreviate stuff. Now, maybe you want to say what NASA really stands for all the time and repeat that throughout your text, but your user will be like, okay, why can't you just abbreviate this and make it easier for me? So we're going to do that right here because abbreviations Though I don't use them all the time in a lot of my work, they're a very handy tool. So let's go ahead and create some. So we're going to have our paragraph tag. We're going to have our abbreviation right here. And inside, what we're going to do is we're going to give it an attribute of title. We're going to say cascading style sheets, and in here we're going to put CSS. So we have our paragraph tag, our abbreviations. You can see that there's this dotted underline in here, and lo and behold, as we go over it, it says cascading style sheets. Now, if you want to do this for a government agency or anything else that needs an abbreviation, you could definitely do that. I know you may be thinking, I don't like these underlines here. You can in CSS remove them and you'll be fine and free to go afterward. But for out of the gate, this is how it styles it for you. Now, another tool that is helpful if you're citing something is, well, it's called the cite tag. So let's come in here and let's make it. So we have cite. We'll have from some famous book. I don't know a book to cite off the top of my head, honestly. From some famous book, he said, "Get me a sandwich." I don't know what book it is, but I may be inclined to read it. And we see what's happening here, and we need to create a space here to move this on over. But it's taking whatever text is included in or appearing inside of the cite tag here, and it's adding some extra emphasis around it, some extra italics kind of style. And so this is an interesting way of not having to use the italics tag like I showed a video or two ago, whenever it was. This is a more direct way to say, hey, I am going to be referencing a book, a newspaper, TV show, whatever, and then I'm going to go on with my text. So citing is a very useful tag if you're doing, book report, more research kind of stuff. It's there for you. Another thing alongside of that is you may use the cite tag for a reference to something, but what if you need to provide a definition? What does that look like? Well, let's come in here and do this. So, and let's come in here and it's DFN. If I could actually type. We see a pizza, and when it's inside of those definition tags, or the DFN tags, we see a pizza as a yummy dish of food I stuff my face with. Let's save it. And we have right here that it takes that word pizza and it's italicizing it. So as we're discussing, talking, actually more like reading through this more so, we could see here that when a user or a creator of the web page wants to define something or refer to something, they could use the definition tag. Now, to a lot of people, this may look very similar to cite, to the emphasis, italics, the EM tag. A lot of these may visually look interchangeable. And of course, why would you not want them to be in a lot of respects? But sometimes you want the meaning to go beyond just what the user sees for more background things going on for the browser, the search engine, stuff along those lines. So it's one of those when you go to the store and you have 20 brands of the same thing, it seems like. But unlike going to the grocery store where a lot of them are the same, here there's enough nuance that you should, in certain cases, choose what tags you're using over other tags. Going along with more semantic markup here, let's go on to the address tag. And this is pretty easy to make. Say you have an address, which If you're using forms and showing someone what their address is before they submit an order, you're most likely going to use something along the lines of this. So let's come in here, give ourselves some space. And let's go ahead and say that we live at, 420 Greenview Drive. I don't even know what state it would be. Illinois. Sure, why not? Seems everyone lives in like California or New York, so let's get Illinois on the map. So if we were to click save here, we would see that just like the site, just like the EM tag, all that other jazz, it's italicized, but what we're doing is we're taking this paragraph tag, which is a child of the address tag here, and we're giving it more meaning. It may look visually the same like I've been repeating to you, but this to the browser is giving it a little bit more emphasis of saying, oh, this is a specific address tag. Now, I think wrapping up here, because we've done a lot with this semantic markup, and I could go on, but some of these I think will be useful. That's why I'm showing them to y'all. Is let's make another paragraph tag. Let's do I want a beer. And this is not going to make sense. I just want to show you that you can do this. But let's go in here and let's do a delete. Actually, I found a way to actually make this make sense. So when we come into here, we could see that we could do a cross through or a strike through, I think it's called in Microsoft Word, through a word. And so we could come here and say, I want. I don't think you should really need a beer unless you're just being funny. We have I need a beer. Well, that's pretty neat. The next thing I want to show you is a strike through. Now, I did say that the delete is like a strike through, but once again, this is semantic markup. A lot of these things look the same, have different meanings. So we could come in here and say something like this was $4.99. We could come up in here and we could just add a simple S guy right in here. We'll come down here. We'll replicate that. We'll remove the strike through tag. And I know some of this stuff isn't the most boring, but it's one of those, you kind of got to know the basic stuff to kind of get up and running. And so we have this strike through here. This was $4.99 and this is now $1.99. Quite a sale if you ask me. Well, it depends actually what it is. And these are just some of the different ways that you could add more markup to your page. And yeah, let's just move on to the next stuff because this is all kind of low level hanging fruit. So let's do more exciting things.